We're going to make pound cake today. A very simple recipe. Of course, pound cake is generally speaking equal parts of all of the products in it. Flour, butter, sugar, eggs, each weighing a pound. Ours is slightly different. Been a couple of adjustments just for texture purposes, but generally that's the reason the name pound cake, because everything was a pound. We're going to do a smaller amount, not quite a pound of everything. So what I'm going to do is I have 3 ounces of butter that I'm going to put into my mixer, and this butter is softened. And then I'm going to add to it about 3.5 ounces of granulated sugar. And I'm just going to pour that in and let that mix around. And then I have 2 ounces of eggs. I'm going to let this mix, cream together. Should be nice, fluffy, creamy. Of course, the creaming will add to the texture and consistency of the final product. So we want to do a real nice job. We also want to go in and scrape down the bowl. So we're going to take our bowl up, our mixer, scrape that around. And you want to do this for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our egg. And so this is 2 ounces of egg, or just over a whole large egg. And we're going to add that in and let that mix. Now in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sift my flour, which is 3.5 ounces, with 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to give this one more stir around just to incorporate everything. I'm going to put a shot of vanilla in there because we're making just a basic vanilla pound cake, although on our website you can see variations. So a little shot of vanilla. And I'm going to mix that. And then I'm going to go ahead and sift what is our flour, baking powder, and salt. So we get that all sifted through. Of course, sifting, there's for no other reason than just eliminating the lumps in the flour. And then, of course, because this is the standard creaming method, which we've already done, creaming the butter and the sugar, adding the eggs, and now adding in the flour, and we're doing a batter version, so I'm going to actually do this in thirds. I'm going to do this off the mixer, so I'm going to scrape down my mixing paddle, and then I'm going to add in my flour mixture along with some sour cream in thirds. Okay, so, and the reason we do this in thirds is so that we get a nice mix and we don't overdevelop the gluten. So I'm going to add in about 1/3 of my flour, and I'm just going to stir it in. And I don't stir it all the way, just about 2/3 of the way. And then I'm going to add in about 1/3 of sour cream. And the sour cream is about 3.5 ounces. And you guys will note I have a small dog licking my feet as I'm making this. So we're going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add in 1/3 more of my flour. So very quickly, very deftly, you want to use as few strokes as possible to mix this in, because we don't want to overdevelop the gluten, and this will actually determine what is our final product. More of the sour cream, and then the final amount of flour. Stir that in for just a second, and then our final amount of sour cream. There we go. And mix that up. Make sure we have no flour at the bottom of our bowl. So I do this off the mixer so I have complete control and I get a real nice mix. Then I'm going to go ahead, pour it into a greased and floured or sprayed cake loaf pan. And this is just a small 8x3 loaf pan because this makes a small amount. And then this will bake. I'm going to tap it down once, and this will bake at a 325 oven. Move my flour out of the way. 325 oven for about 35 to 40 minutes till a tester is inserted and is brought out and it is clean. All right, so we'll see it on the other side.